Hello, hello. This is Accio Politics, a Harry Potter reread podcast where we talk about the politics of the wizarding world, the politics of our current world, and where we try our hardest to smash that patriarchy. I'm Adri, one of your hosts and a recovering English major. I'm also recovering from our Thanksgiving break, in which I didn't go anywhere but got sick anyway. Not with COVID, thankfully, but probably just with, stress, sheer exhaustion, and not being able to go outside. My body just broke down and said, no more, no mas. Anyway, I know you were expecting us to get into chapter 15 of Order of the Phoenix today. We were too. We were pumped. We wanted to get it over with, but I swear this chapter is cursed. Just everything came together to the point where we couldn't record this week's episode. We all had issues that we can get over. So I don't know, man. Like chapter 15, super cursed. So we're going to have to pivot again this week. We didn't want to leave the feed empty because last weekend was Thanksgiving weekend and we didn't have anything out. So here I am to tell you to keep listening on after I'm done with this ridiculously long intro, because we are releasing the full episode where we speculate, in the spirit of smashing the patriarchy, what would happen? What would it look like if the character of Draco Malfoy had been gender flipped in the series? I'd also be remiss if I didn't thank our patrons. Patrons, thank you so much. This is, your support, your continued support is what makes this podcast possible. Also, patrons, I want you to know that your patron-only stickers for those of you at the Owl Post level and above, and those recipes at the $10 level and above are coming to you soon. I will be mailing those by mid-December, so keep an eye out in your mailboxes for that. If you don't get it, please let me know through patreon.com/occhiopolitics. Listeners, if you want to support our show and get some sweet bonus content, like the one that you're about to hear, you too can become a patron for as little as $2 a month on patreon.com/occhiopolitics. Side note, if you have not yet listened to our episode with Chris Rankin, where we talked all things Percy, now's the time to catch up with that or any other episode that you haven't yet listened to in advance of next week, and also, the holidays. And now, after I have been monologuing for this long, I'll just shut up now and input that episode where we talk about a gender-flipped Draco. Hello, patrons. This is your bonus content for this episode. And what are we talking about today, Helene?
We are talking about a female Draco, how the story would have been different if Draco was a woman, or Draco and the entire cast of characters in the Potter series was gender flipped.
Ooh, so I like the idea of kind of like separating the two theories of like, what if this just one character was gender flipped, right? And then what if all the characters were gender flipped? Like, how would we think about this story?
Yeah, it's a lot to wrap your head around, for sure.
So before we begin, what is kind of like the name that we're like thinking of to give like this female or girl Draco?
I was thinking Darcy.
Love it. It's very posh and very like daddy's girl.
Yes, according to my research, Darcy is a girl's name of French and Irish origin, meaning dark one. So that kind of fits.
So that also fits. Yes. Love it. See, I love that you're into names
Yeah, they interest
because
me.
so why do they interest you before
Well,
we
just in fiction, really, because like
Okay.
when in the real life, when you're naming someone, you can name them after who you want them to be, but you don't know, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
you can name someone, like I don't know, king, and want them to be like a fucking boss, but you don't know when they're a baby if they're going to actually end up being that way. But with fiction, the author knows what this character is going to be, and and sometimes I guess I don't know if the process is the same every single time, but I feel like at least with just Karen, she tends to name the characters off of what she already knows about them in her mind, right? Like that's why I think a lot
Yeah.
of Potter characters have really meaningful names that mean a lot about their character. So I
I
think in
mean,
fiction it's
Lupin,
really
anyone?
interesting. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure that in the real world, there Lupin's parents would not have named him Remus Lupin, and just assumed one day he might become a werewolf. Like,
Yeah, and
um,
like, like they were going for astronomer, ended up werewolf.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So, like, the name Draco is actually the Latin word for serpent or dragon. Um,
Okay, okay.
and I mean, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe there wasn't any meaning behind her naming Draco that,
Well, he is
but
a Slytherin, so serpent.
that's true. Yeah, I mean, he is very Slytherin-ish, Slytherin-y. So
He does slither a lot.
he does exactly. So I mean, it's very possible that she named him with that in mind. But yeah, when it
But I
comes
also
to
like that you chose Darcy, and it means dark one. Um, Fun fact: so does Adriana. But okay,
Adriana means dark one,
yes.
I'm pretty sure that Helene means like light.
Well, my mother is not into names and their meanings. Apparently, she just likes how they sound.
Yeah. So Helene is a ancient Greek origin, meaning torch or beautiful, light, bright, and shining.
What if,
So
Helene, you are the yin to my yang,
oh my
or I
gosh,
am the
we just
or
balance each other out. How
yes,
beautiful is
like
that?
so much. Sometimes you need light to counter all the darkness.
Oh my gosh. And like the ancient Greek word for sun is helios, which is close to Helene.
Oh,
Um
I love it.
yeah, so Helen of Troy, so play
I
on
mean,
Helene.
name. I'm sorry, name dropping so much.
Yeah, so I mean name meanings are really interesting, and it's like yeah, I think that people name their children um I mean, apparently your parents don't really pay attention to those types of things, but I feel like a lot of people do name their children based off of like what they want their kids to be growing up. So, um,
Yeah, like in Italian, the meaning of the name Adriana is dark. Like
really,
literally, this is a sentence that I am reading from name meaning from She Knows and baby names. Like, and then in Latin, baby names, the meaning of the same Adriana is from the Latin Hadrianus, meaning of Adria or of the Adriatic,
also means
also
dark.
means dark.
Yeah, so Italian. So yeah, I think I'm looking at the same website as you because it says Italian dark, Latin dark, Shakespearean. It doesn't really say anything. Spanish dark, American dark.
I mean, I am 4 times over dark.
Shakespearean, it just says meaning of the name is the comedy of errors' wife to Antipholus of Ephesus.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
there's like legit, it's dark.
Yep, you're dark, man.
But and then my mom wonders why I went through like my baby goth phase. Like
Right.
you literally named me dark.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy sometimes, right? Like
I mean, yeah. Yeah, so she was all about like how the names sounded. I was my mom also was considering Andrea, but like or Andrea, but
mhm.
my dad had a colleague. despised whose name was Andrea, so that was struck off and
I mean,
vetoed.
that's a big reason why people, how people choose names, right? Like
Yeah.
whether or not they know people with that name.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like if I don't know, there's like certain names that I'm like, nope, every person I've met with that name is a complete bitch or a complete asshole. We're not doing this. Like I don't think a lot of baby Karens are being
Yeah,
born.
probably not so much. Um, but I kind of picture a female Draco or a Darcy to be pretty similar to Daphne, who was our female Dudley.
Yes, 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 yes. Well, but because
Although only smarter, yeah.
yeah, but Dudley and Draco are like analogs of each other, but in different worlds that Harry inhabits.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
Harry is never without a tormentor
Exactly. Yes.
of his peer group. And then Snape is more of like a Vernon for him.
Yeah. And so it's the idea of like a female bully is kind of what we're looking at.
Do you know what I thought? Like,
What?
if we just like let like, it was just Darcy who was like the character we flipped, and everyone else stayed the same. I was imagining Helga from Hey Arnold. And it's like there'd be so many fanfics of like
And she has a
her.
shrine. She has a shrine of
Yeah,
Harry in her room.
exactly.
I guess. Oh my goodness, that would be hilarious.
Like it's legitimately the only thing I could stop. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Like so
all the Drarry shippers are going crazy right now.
Yeah, so like it was. Well, one, like we know there's Drarry shippers, and like there's like that sexual tension there that they see. But I was like, legit, if only like that character was flipped, the narrative is definitely Helga from Hey Arnold, and you cannot convince me of anything else. I spent like 2 hours just like
It's
chuckling
hilarious.
over this. When
But
I was like, oh yeah, we're talking about Draco. Oh shit, Helga.
it's pretty great. I'm enjoying this. Yes.
It's just a shrine to Harry, and like Potter stinks, like because Helga's just like that.
Oh yeah. And I think Darcy and Daphne would be pretty similar in the fact that they both um, bully people because of their status rather than like their looks, like whether or not they are um, worthy of money and power, I feel like.
Well, they're also coddled by their parents, right?
Right,
Or,
yeah.
at least one of their parents coddles them. So, and the other one just expects big things from them and makes them believe that they are above everyone else.
Right. For
So
sure.
it's kind of like a nature versus nurture mentality, where nurture is definitely winning the game.
Sorry, I was yawning. Yes, definitely. Oh man. No, yeah, I have written here in my notes like who cares if they're ugly if they can't afford the Nimbus 2001?
Oh my god, love it. But also, like, would she be super into brooms, or would she be into something like robes, or like what is it that girls are into?
In
Like,
the
we don't
Wizarding World?
get that.
I mean, Ginny is into brooms.
Well, I'm sure she is, but
Exactly.
no. But I mean, Jenny is a jock for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I have a hard time. Maybe it's because I'm also like not a jock. Imagining Darcy, like
Well, I
if
mean,
if both genders were flipped, if all genders were flipped, or if it was just her, to not be like a prissy little princess who doesn't want to break a nail.
No, I see the thing is with Draco, even with just Draco himself, I always kind of thought that he wasn't I never thought he was really into Quidditch. I thought that he just played Quidditch and got on the Quidditch team and all of that because like that's what makes you cool when you're a dude at Hogwarts, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh
yeah.
like you need to be into Quidditch. But I never thought he really cared about it. Like I feel like he did it one because the status and the popularity, and two to just, you know, give shit to Harry 24/7.
And I can see how also like that goes both like for all genders because it's obviously like the teams are co-ed, so it's not like we don't see um you know like Cho is on the Quidditch team, so I guess fine, that would be like a Nimbus joke, but like is there anything else like she would be all over? Like, look at this cursed locket I got at like Nocturne Alley or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
Look
not.
at look at this like super dark hair comb. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like if there's like magic jewelry or something that
I
girls
mean,
would be into, or
clearly,
um,
like we've got the Horcrux, but it's not the same.
yeah, like Slytherin's locket and the gaunt ring and stuff like that. Um, all the jewelry in this series is evil. Except for the time
Again,
turner. Like,
again,
the time turner is not necessarily evil, I guess,
but
but
it could be used for evil.
that is true.
But like all the jewelry and all the physical appearance stuff that is like too glossy or like polished is evil. That's my whole thing. Like that's like that. That's
Yeah,
why I bristle a little bit because I'm like, there's nothing wrong with liking pink, you know.
yeah. No, it's true. I mean, I don't know.
Also, sometimes a girl just wants a locket.
Yeah, this author has some issues with femininity, I feel like.
Well,
I'm surprised there aren't more evil women in the series
I
than there
mean,
are.
I mean, what? I don't know. I think you might be into something. Maybe in the future we'll find out that she's like, I don't know, a misogynistic turf. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
who knows?
who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Darcy would be into, other than like brooms and stuff. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, and like, would if okay, so if only that character was gender flipped, like, would Crab and Goyle would be like fighting over her, and she'd be like leading them on, and be like, oh, these dummies.
Oh, totally. Like they'd be her cronies because they are attracted to her rather than
Yeah,
just
they'd be,
like
I like love her so much, and she's like, fine, fine, fine. Like, pit them against each other, lead them on, and then at the end be like,
I
deuces.
yeah, I can do it. I can make them do whatever I want. I mean, that's true. Like, maybe Darcy is more manipulative with her sexual appeal.
I
Draco
mean,
never really used that, you
but
know?
like in the patriarchy, right? Like that's the only, not the only, but like the most readily available tool that um women have. I don't want to say females have because that's disgusting. Um
Yeah.
like like you got to use like there's no like there's other avenues to power, but they're not as like instant
Yeah, it's the, most accessible tool in their tool belt,
in
basically.
in the arsenal.
Yeah, exactly.
So like if only so it's only Darcy, like I'm still going through down this rabbit hole. Like I am imagining like a super daddy's girl.
Oh yeah.
Like like wait till my father hears about this.
Oh my
Like
gosh, right?
and it's just like it would be just amplified even more because that like a Lucius Malfoy with a Darcy would be even more insufferable. Gotta protect my little girl.
Yeah, no, I think that he would be a lot more protective of her, a lot more doting on her, and a lot more bragging about her, probably.
Oh yeah, and like I don't know if the mom would even be as like doting on Darcy because there's usually like that's like the power imbalance in like a marriage is like when like there's like one clearly dotes on one child, the other parent seems to like hold back on that. I mean, there's times where like you got parents equally spoiling, but like there's something about teenage girls and their mothers like that can get a little dicey.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking as a person who was a teenage girl at some point, and I had a mother who was.
Oh my God, weird. Same.
Oh my God, we have so much in common. You're light, I'm dark. We were both teenage girls once
Who had mothers?
who had mothers. You're like 100% Ashkenazi Jewish. I'm like 7%, you know?
I don't know if that makes us super similar, but okay.
Just let's exploit our similarities, please.
I took like 7 years of Spanish in high school and college. You speak Spanish fluently. It's cool.
See, like, are we the same person?
I think we are. But we're not the same as Draco or Darcy, that's for sure.
No. Like, but when I also think about like if all the genders were flipped, like that like Lucius Darcy, like Lady Lucius and Darcy like relationship would be super interesting and like full of like tension of like a lady does this or like no, like more like debutante type relationship of momager, like a Chris Jenner, Kim Kardashian vibe.
Yeah, no, definitely. I could see that.
Oh, just thinking about a Lady Lucius as like lady
Kris Jenner. Yeah.
like as a Chris Jenner as like in real life.
Oh my goodness.
Beautiful.
Except like both Darcy and Louisa, I don't know, Louisa Malfoy, would be, very stark racists. That's the main thing.
I mean, that doesn't change because we flipped it.
Yeah, no, yes. I mean, they'd be part of the 53% of white women that voted for Trump.
Oh, 100%. And they would not take down their flags. Let's be real.
No.
Until like they certify the election in a few weeks and then back into the caves they go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But I also think about like how maybe, and we talked to this about like Lady Dudley as well. Like maybe the insults would be more based on their physical appearance. Although Draco Malfoy does already a really good deal of physical appearance attacks.
Does he?
Yeah, I think like doesn't he do that like with Hermione and stuff and her teeth?
Maybe once or twice. And I mean, like I guess he makes fun of Hagrid's appearance, but like,
yeah, and he makes fun of Ron's appearance.
Does he? I mean, like, okay, yeah, red hair and a hand-me-down robe. Yeah, sure. But his main antagonist, I mean, he doesn't talk about Harry's looks at all. Maybe it's because Harry is like the hottest guy ever, and I don't doubt that. And he just can't find anything to.
It's because he's secretly in love with him.
Yeah, no, he can't find anything to like criticize about Harry because he's just so freaking attractive, right?
Like,
no.
like cute gif of Helga like looking at Arnold.
We're just
in the heart.
You're just
like so dreamy.
We're driving Drarry shippers crazy right now. I don't even like Drarry as a ship. Sorry, not sorry, but dang, we are really pro Drarry this episode.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I see it. Like listen, like Drarry, not my favorite ship, but it's only because I don't believe in like, well, they're only mean to me because they like me kind of ships. I don't like that. Like, like, no. Even though, like, the way that I express fondness is by making fun of people, I don't know. Maybe it's just self-hate on my part.
I don't.
I'm having a realization here. Like, I'm having a breakthrough, okay?
Okay, guys, you heard it here first. Breaking news, exclusive.
I can never like, I don't know, like, so an aside, Seth like thought I was coming on to him when I was just clearly being nice. not because
And
I
now you're
like
married.
him. And now we're married, and like when I started liking him, I started teasing teasing him and joking around with him, and he's like the only like person I've ever met who can like keep up with my jokes and like
Mm,
not be, take offense to it because he knows I'm joking and
yeah.
teasing, and I only tease those who are very close to me. But like every other time when I was like, like I really like this guy, I like just openly just insult them. I am Helga. Like literally, I am Helga. I don't know.
Oh, goodness.
It's a defense mechanism, okay? Maybe Draco and Darcy have defense mechanisms for Harry. Just saying. Have I just become a Drarry shipper throughout this bonus
I think you might
segment?
have. I think that you might have, and I don't know what to think about it.
I don't know what to do with myself. I feel like my life is
You're
falling
gonna
apart.
we're gonna get to another chapter with Draco in it soon enough, and you're gonna be like, never mind, I changed my mind.
Yeah, I just be like, that evaporated real quick.
Yeah, Draco's gonna say something real shitty to Harry and just be like, nope, never mind. I changed my mind again. I'm not a Drarry shipper.
I have higher standards for my fictional characters than I do for real people.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Anything else we want to talk about Darcy? Like, if all the characters were gender flipped, like I feel like there'd be more cat fights with like Harriet, like a lot of hair pulling maybe.
I just feel like, I mean, it, a lot of their fighting would be more passive aggressive than aggressive for sure. Because men like to take out their anger in with physical violence, and women like to just make snide remarks and hurt your feelings that you don't realize that they did that until 15 minutes later.
Okay, first of all, I have two things. First of all, I thought you were going to say take out their dicks and like
No, no, yeah, they like to take out their dicks and their anger out in physical violence, both.
just like take out their dicks and sword fight. Just
That's way more gay than
it's just like the gayest thing ever. But also like way to characterize like the genders as like, well, they
well, I
both do
mean,
things differently.
I know it's a stereotype on both ends, but like they're vastly, I mean, it's pretty true. You can't say, yeah, there are some women who like to take out their violence with physical violence. They like to take out their anger and with literal physical violence, but it's very rare.
Yeah, I feel like there'd be a lot of like, oh, I switched her hair potion with
Yeah,
blue ink, and like like just Darcy shows up with like
blue hair.
blue hair.
That'd be beautiful. Yeah, and then there are a lot of guys who, I mean, like it's unfortunate, but our society does not teach young boys and men how to express their emotions, and so they express them. They either don't express them and then keep them bottled up and let them explode with physical violence, or they solely learn how to express them through something physical, because men tend to be much more physical creatures than women.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. Though, like the one thing I wanted to make sure that we didn't forget to address was Snape and Draco's relationship and how that would look and how troubling that would be if
If Snape was a man still.
Yes.
I'm just trying to picture like a
doting professor, like lets her slide with everything. Everything she does is
Do you think there would be rumors about some sort of sexual relationship there?
I just feel like icky about it. And maybe it's because like I'm like, well, Snape is an insult, like.
Did you ever have like a favorite teacher that was a man in high school or middle school?
No. But I mostly had female teachers anyway, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I feel like male teachers tend to be really cautious about showing any sort of affection toward their female students.
I mean,
Um,
as they should be, because they are at an impressionable age where they would, they could latch on to something that is completely inappropriate.
yeah,
But
but just even saying that Snape's affection towards Draco is still like
troubling.
inappropriate. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think just more of, I think even more so, because to me, if it would be Darcy, God, I'm very eloquent right now. It would be even more troubling still if it was Darcy for me, because women tend to have less power in society.
Yeah.
So the power differential would be greater. Therefore, Snape could exploit it even more.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Um, Side note, I know someone who dated and had children with one of her high school teachers.
Ugh.
They're not together anymore. But it was completely gross. Like, I was just like, he taught you in like 11th grade and 12th grade. And then, like, on your first year of college, you started dating. That seems a little like,
Yeah.
no, no.
I had a crush on a student teacher who was like, I was in high school and he was in college and he was student teaching.
I mean,
Um,
listen.
but
I have had crushes on like every like unavailable man on earth. Like, I honestly, like, if there is a gay man near me, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so into you, because I love unavailable men, emotionally and physically. But
oh my goodness.
but like, there's those are normal things for you to have crushes on, like, those authority or semi-authoritative figures.
Yeah.
For them to exploit that dynamic is quite different.
Right. Yeah, totally.
I feel like I've like really gone into my preferences on this episode.
Sure. Yeah.
John Ossoff, like Steve Kornacki, who is a gay man, doesn't change a thing for me.
To the miss.
Just basically, I'm Helga. Like, I don't know, man.
Ooh, another meaning for Darcy is descendant of the dark.
Well, he may be descendant of someone like me. See, an Adriana.
It also so it can mean dark, descendant of the dark, or also just dark haired, which is like the opposite of Darcy or the opposite of Draco, but whatever. Since he is very light haired, but that's okay.
I mean, I think like Darcy would be completely obsessed with her hair, like 1,000%.
Oh, she'd be like a bleach blonde, yeah, total like a spike kind of. If you watch
I
Buffy,
mean, Lucius is already kind of obsessed with his hair, right? Like, in
right?
like the female version of
Like,
that spawn.
did you say Lucius? You mean luscious?
Oh, luscious hair Malfoy.
Yes, 100%. That's him. That's my boy.
Oh God, they should like cast Orlando Bloom in the reboot.
As
Like,
luscious.
he just wear like the Legolas wig.
Oh my gosh, that'd be perfect.
I was just, Seth is watching The Hobbit downstairs, and I was like, "Oh, I forgot about Legolas and like my
Oh,
insane crush on."
I forgot that Lucius Malfoy was in the Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh, that too. But also, I was like, "Ooh, Legolas!" Like, "Ooh, I forgot about like this like teenage obsession of mine."
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's pretty. He's a pretty boy.
He is, but I was also into like Elijah Wood because, of course, green eyes, dark hair. You get it. You get it. That's your type too.
I mean, Daniel Radcliffe over Elijah Wood 100%, but sure.
But I know. I'm not saying that you should like obviously like put Elijah over like Daniel on your list. I'm saying that that's a type.
It is. It is a type. I will give you that.
And obviously this crush is fueled by the fact that they're completely unavailable to me.
Oh, I mean, that's not why mine are fueled, but it's a factor.
It's fine. Like, I've in this therapy session, I've come to accept it.
All right, we have finished Adriana's therapy session. So
Yes, we have. So thank you, patrons. Let us know if you have any thoughts on Darcy, and like if you have any theories of your own. I'd love to hear it. We'd love to hear it.
yes, we sure would.
Who are we doing next?
I have no idea.
Well, anyway, next week we will be covering probably some like bonus content on a political topic or something that is happening. Last week we did the Latino vote, so that was fun to talk about and also vent into the void. We might be talking about just Karen or something more political like the coup. Quien sabe?
Or maybe
see.
we'll talk about Grindelwald and Johnny Depp being fired from the franchise. Who knows?
I mean, that's also a good topic. That's it for tonight, for today, for whatever, for this episode. Thank you, patrons. Until next time.